welcome back to Up Next. I'm Kalen. I'm joined, as always, by my beautiful and talented co-host, Carrie. And today we are talking about our favorite new album releases from the weekend.
Yeah!
Yay! What's up next? What's hot right now?
What's up next? Yeah, we are excited to bring you a fun variety of stuff. We got a little pop, we got a little not pop, we got stuff that, we're bringing back a favorite segment of ours, also known as Is
this music?
So
we try. Do we start with Is It Music? Do we go ahead and clear out?
Let's jump into the deep end here.
Cool. Okay.
Yeah.
Sure, get us started.
Okay,
go ahead.
For sure. My pick for Is It Music, and my first album of the day that I'd like to talk about is by Nathan Davis and Sylvia Milo. Sylvia provides the vocals, and Nathan Davis is a contemporary classical artist based out of New York. The project is called Earthworks. It's really bizarre, but at the same time, you, can't look away. It's extremely captivating. It really holds your attention. You would call it sound experiments, I think.
Yeah, this is really a great example of Musique Concrète, which is something we talk about sometimes, and whenever I first heard the term, I did not know what it meant.
And some people roll their eyes as well, but I think there are applications of it where it's really cool.
Yes, so it's just recreating, in this instance, pretty literally, sounds from found objects.
Yes, like treating any sound in life as a potential instrument,
yes.
Which is really, I don't know, I think it's a noble goal.
Yeah, and it's also kind of specifically aiming for sound sculpture. So you're really building something as close to tangible as possible within this audio medium.
Out of audio, which isn't tangible at all.
Of course.
So, and this project is really cool. Specifically, its use of material in communicating its message.
Right.
So he's playing with the idea of inorganic things. Sort of imagining even, this table and this wall behind us and everything as living and breathing just as much as we are, and because they're so important to our world.
And because they're literally made out of wood. They're made out of, plant matter from the earth.
Yes, and how we even get this inorganic stuff in the first place. So he's sort of playing with the interplay there. There is, an intro track that establishes a lot of the materials used, like galvanized steel sheets and plasterboard and all sorts of stuff. It's sort of Foley in that way too.
Yeah, the use of vocals in this is, I think, what really made this record stand out to me, because we do see a lot of stuff kind of in this vein, and it's usually a little less clear where these samples are coming from. I mean, they'll tell you it's all found materials or whatever, but it's really hard to pinpoint where these exact sounds are.
Right. You don't necessarily know what it is, and you don't usually need to. But I love this as establishing the vocabulary.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. She's literally saying galvanized steel,
and then you hear
yeah, that's awesome.
And it's cinder block. It's great. Yeah. So I had a lot of fun with Earthworks this week, and that's my contender for Is It Music, because it ends up weaving these really beautiful conversations, but it might not be the most accessible for your average pop fan. So,
tell me
about your
what
pick.
Is average?
Yeah, Tell me your pick for Is It Music, though.
Is It Music? I present a Panacea Nurtured Gurgles by Cody, Brant, and Diurnal Burdens. And this album is a lot of found. I don't know if they're found. I just said found, but I think some of them probably were recorded on site. Maybe some things were found.
Are they candid field recordings? What would you?
I'll give you an example. In one of the tracks, I'm pretty sure someone is playing electric guitar in counterpoint to a car engine revving.
Okay, yeah. Okay. Again, fusing our organics and inorganics, our musical and our non-musical.
Yeah.
That's cool, though.
And once again, it's I don't know if that was a found car recording or something, or if it was
or whether he
on site.
recorded it outside his house, or pulled a car up, or rented a Tesla.
But cool concept, huh? Well, not rented a Tesla, because you don't really get the
no, you get the
Anyway, that is just one example. There's some other really weird, deep cut esoteric samples. It's really bizarre stuff and a lot of noise, and I don't really know.
Yes,
yeah.
a lot of noise sort of woven into this.
Yeah, if you're interested in that sort of thing, if that sparks your fancy, is that something people say? Sparks your fancy?
They say it tickles their fancy.
If it tickles your fancy, if it scratches your
itch,
you'll get like a cream or something. I don't know, man.
Go to the dermatologist immediately.
Yeah, great.
Well,
or listen to this instead.
Or listen to this instead. It will cure any dermatological issues.
I mean, it's a panacea.
You're so true.
That's like a medicine that works for everything.
Like a penicillin.
Exactly.
Awesome. Can I talk about my next album?
Yes, please.
I don't want to talk about medicine anymore. My next pick is called Pictish Spaghetti. It's by Roberto, Cassani, and Graeme Stephen. This is out on 577 Records out of Brooklyn, New York. This is a fun kind of fusion for you all here. The Pict people of Scotland, which Kalen informed me moments ago, sort of an Iron Age like cultural group in Scotland.
I don't know if they were Iron Age.
That's what it said in Google
specifically. Okay, great.
I don't know.
I love that. Iron Age, Bronze Age,
Age,
not
ancient.
Stone Age. Probably not Stone Age.
Just ancient.
They were from before like
Britain, or whatever.
Anyway,
whatever happened in history. Anyway, this guy from Italy moved to this spot in Scotland. He said it sort of picked him. He's got to stay. He loved
him.
Oh my god, you're so right. But he just sort of fell in love with the place and stayed, and so he's teamed up with what I assume is a Scottish musical artist here to make this really strange fusion of traditional Scottish inspired folk music and Italian music, and also kind of country music at the same time. Sort of has that Americana vibe as well. And I think it's done really, really well. It has sort of a strange avant-garde opening few minutes, but it really settles into a groove that makes a lot of sense and sounds great.
Yeah, it does, and there is some interplay between these three cultures of like American country music and Scottish folk music, and I guess Italians.
Somehow the guy's Italian, so it's
cool.
That's what they're saying. They're saying it's there, and I choose to believe them. Like
it all works. It works really well together,
right? And so that's why it's called, Pictish spaghetti. So they're doing the Scottish spaghetti western.
Eat up.
Exactly.
And can I talk about the album that I really ate up?
Yeah,
this week.
Tell me. That's a great segue.
Thank you.
Ahead.
I was really captivated by Hell 2 by blank Hellscape.
If we thought your first pick was a bunch of noises,
and if you thought the first Hell was bad enough, boy, is there even more in store for you in Hell 2. I have the urge to call this like post-power electronics, which...
Post? What makes it post?
Because it's not just...
It's like after.
Yeah, because it's like after. No, because with power electronics, you expect, like, these really huge, like, impenetrable walls of noise and full, like, throat-shredding screaming, usually. And there's noise in here. And there also is screaming.
And
but
a lot of screaming.
There are... It's actually more like spoken word. We're not doing quite as like screechy as some power electronics stuff can get
as well.
Yeah, it's a little more subdued.
Down.
It's like if power electronics was like a little more chill. If you could like calm down just a little bit. If
your friend ever held you hostage in the car and put on some grating shit, this might be a more appropriate approach. For your first time in, maybe?
Because it also pulls from...
Just does it differently.
It pulls from a lot of different genres, too, so just calling it that one thing really puts it into a box and doesn't give you the full picture.
Yeah.
We're doing some of that, like, straight-up noise stuff. We're doing some breakbeat. We're doing some, like, shoegazy kind of guitar work, but all of that is filtered through this perspective that is very nearly focused on impending societal collapse and death.
Hell 2.
Yeah. So the way it just like communicates this message is very compelling. I feel like the music really ties in with this person's like personal descent into madness and like this death spiral. It's great. It's really really phenomenal
and just
work.
Oversaturation and overwhelm and everything. Infusing the noise elements really makes sense. And I like incorporating, like you said, shoegaze too, to add a little more of a maybe mature and subdued thing, and also just a little tasty bit for our shoegaze heads out there.
I think like doing more stuff like that and incorporating other sounds than just like the heavy electronics allows this to be more approachable while still being incredibly noisy.
And it gives it a better sense of pacing too. It gives it more opportunity to have highs and lows, which makes you connect with it more as a listener.
Some of the stuff is pretty dancey as well.
Yeah,
you could play this. Would love to hear this at the club.
Ooh, dig through these crates, guys.
Yeah, check it out.
Get Hell 2 on the mix for this weekend.
It's almost 90 minutes. It's a really long album, but it totally fills the space.
Lots of love.
Yeah, I found this definitely maybe, man, I don't want to say like contender for album of the year, but it really got to me.
Oh my god, we gotta show the rest of the squad.
Yeah, it reminds me a little bit too of like Morgan Garrett, kind of in both his artistic like aesthetics and perspective as well.
Yeah, just the sort of frantic.
Yeah, this, like I said, like a descent into madness and death obsession and all that. It's great. Lean in.
Well, I have one more album to share before we head out for the day. This is another project by an Italian artist, but this time sort of in a dark pop approach. Maybe chamber pop, you could call it. I don't know. But
I don't even know if pop. This is very singer-songwriter almost. It's I'll let you tell us more here.
It's Physalia by Oniria is how I'm choosing to pronounce it.
You should say it with a really offensive Italian accent.
I'm good.
Okay.
The approach here is really good. She's the write-up in the liner notes cite like Fiona Apple as an influence. When I played it for you, you said it kind of gave Bjork, so we're definitely kind of heading in that direction, which is why I do call it pop and like chamber pop and stuff. I feel like you could fit it under that umbrella pretty easily, but the way it's done, it sounds so ethereal at the same time, and I love this dark dreaminess. It's done so delicately, so much so that it's kind of surreal. They might even comment on the late David Lynch in the liner notes as well.
I think so. Yeah, they talk about being inspired by dreams in the world of dreams, and that definitely comes through in that that sort of ephemeral quality.
Yeah, and I love that type of shit. I mean, Hounds of Love, Kate Bush as well is really good. Although that's more fixed in like true straight up pop than stuff like Bjork. This sort of has that more spiritual jazz element.
And it's very piano driven too, which I think grounds it more in that type of music versus like Charlie.
Charlie XCX. Or even who is it, like Earthy, that type of ethereal pop as well.
I know the liners say that there's some synthesizer. I didn't hear a ton of that though. It's pretty minimal in its instrumentation.
Yeah, they keep it I would assume those synth pads are more for like washes and sort of getting the vibe going.
And less like beep boop.
Yeah, okay, like cool. Filling it in and washing over the space. It has that sort of quality to it. Yeah, I love that. It's really pretty. Yeah, great for summer. I've been loving this, again, this sort of subdued approach, just as much as I love to like thrash to a pop song.
Well, this final album that I have isn't quite subdued.
Yeah.
It's fairly intense as well, but more in the droney and doomy, like dark intensity as well. So this is a nice companion piece. More of the post-metal version of the album you're talking about here. I'm presenting EIMURIA by Bank Myna. This is a like post-rock, like I said, also sort of post-metal. It's in this weird niche kind of between the two, where it explores some of these more like orchestral swells into the like distorted heavy like chugging
into those post-rock kind of breakdown moments.
Cool. So a little bit of this, a little bit of that.
I like that though. That sounds like a good balance has been struck.
Yes, the vocals on this record are really beautiful and breathtaking as well. It's very like rich, almost operatic in its approach, but not quite there.
Not too over the top.
Not
maybe.
too over the top.
Good,
yeah. But
keeping it tasteful with that post-rock kind of moodiness. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And what really captivated me about this record too was the story. It's very inspired by the lives of Alejandra Pizarnik and Camille Claudel. Mm-hmm. These are two artists who were active kind of in the 19th century, 20th century,
I was gonna
early
say,
20th century.
Yeah, late 1800s, early 1900s.
Yeah.
These very, headstrong figures. Yeah.
Yes, both very, independent and prolific artists who were institutionalized, mostly against their wills, from what I can tell. And, yeah, just these, tragic stories of maybe these artists who could have been even more prolific.
Right, yeah, we talked about, these just vibrant little flashes of life
that are dulled purposefully, especially Alejandra. Her story was
taken
really
too soon. Yeah,
not even taken. It's she's there. She lived in the asylum that she was shut away in for 40 years, for a really long time.
Yeah,
it was anyway.
Removed from life though.
Yeah, really, really hard stuff and great inspiration for this album. I feel like they tell that story of tragedy, but also artistic inspiration and kind of trying to balance both the
yeah and there is something very noble and admirable to that idea of committing to the only life you know how to live, and the repercussions of it. But,
especially with some of these historical figures, people talk about artists like this as being out of time or being from ahead of their time. Exactly, literally. And I feel like that was very much the case here, and I love this album as a tribute to that.
Yeah, totally. And yeah.
And yeah. All right. Well, I think that wraps it up then. Carrie, what are you looking forward to this week?
Oh my goodness.
What do we have going on?
I don't know. We had a very busy past couple weeks. We went to the flea market.
We tabled at the flea market.
We tabled at the flea market.
A few people came and said hi, and some people recognized us. Oh my god. Oh my god.
Yeah, if you came and said hi at the flea market, thank you. Thank you for buying a tape or a patch or whatever. So that was all nice. I'm excited to maybe take a deep breath.
Yeah. And get ready for the next one.
I guess so. My mom is going to be here in a couple weeks, so I want to clean the house.
All right.
That's what I'm looking forward to. What about you?
Good goals. I have a few things. There's an ambient open mic on Wednesday that I'm thinking about going to so that I can then get the vibe and maybe perform at it next time. Who knows? I'm scared. I've never...
That sounds fun.
Performed music in front of people, but
you gotta practice a lot. You just practice here.
Yeah, open mic seems like a good space to do it. And then we might see a band on Friday at Photo Club. That would be fun. We'll see. That's all I got. Oh, and I'm also excited for our Discord night tonight.
Tomorrow night.
I'm excited. Well, when this podcast comes out, I don't know. Anyway,
it'll be Tuesday if you're watching this on Tuesday. Pop up in the Discord. Say, hey, we're probably going to play games, listen to some music, our album of the week pick.
Yeah, I know we don't normally do a huge big plug, but if you join our Patreon, then you get to join our Discord server, and you also get a whole extra podcast every single week. And if you don't want to join our Patreon, you can also buy tapes from us on our website to support our work and what we do.
Just a little plug, in case you forgot.
Yay! Yeah. All right, I think that's it.
Bye, everyone.
Bye!
Bye.